time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielsen, Matt Cassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Two Guys and a Goalie. Nielsen and Gager with you today. Kass could not join us. We're actually at the new Edmonton Sports Talk studios, and Kass was pulling into the parking lot, then had a work emergency. Luckily for us, we never have work emergencies, do we, Gager?
Or was it the security guard at the front getting into the studios?
He couldn't get in.
I had to show all my credentials to get in here. It's like Fort Knox. This place is unbelievable.
You know, there are actually three, like when we come here in the morning, there's three different doors, three different keys that we have to use to get into this place.
Perfect.
It's nuts. But yeah, so this is your first time in the new Edmonton Sports. Obviously, things are going to be spruced up. We're working on it, but this is going to be the main studio. We'll have a new desk, and obviously the backdrop will be done and stuff. But what do you think of the new digs?
I'm so excited for you, Dusty. I got goosebumps just walking into the place and seeing your creation or your vision of what this place is going to look like. This is a very exciting time, I think, for Edmonton Sports Talk. It's going to be so much fun. Hopefully, I can add a little bit of spice once in a while.
We'll see. No promises, but we'll see what ends up happening. So yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. We're going to continue to have some announcements here through the month of August, which is going to be exciting as well. You'll see some changes to some scheduling and stuff come September. But it turns out that being online in 2023 is kind of important. So that's what we're gonna do. We've always had a lot of success with Two Guys and Goalie and Oil Stream and things like that so far. So it's been good. Not a ton of stuff to get into today. We're gonna talk video games though for sure because man, let's stop for a second. It's so nice doing the show together.
I know,
Since COVID hit, we've kind of all been in our own places, man. It's just a completely different conversation.
Well, I kind of feel like I'm back at Little Brick a little bit.
Back in the day, you're right.
Back in the day, just
similar vibes.
Higher
roof, but similar vibes.
You missed something. I said it before when we started, when COVID hit and we started doing it remotely. There is that little bit of you miss from the way guys act, and I told some very risque stories back at the beginning that had you guys and I probably fed off your laughter more than anything else. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to go into the vault of stories there if we're all together once again.
That'll be good, I think, and we will be. So that'll be nice. We'll definitely have a bunch of shows where we manage to make our way together here to the studio. We'll get to Bouchard in a second. We can obviously talk about the continued wait for Evan Bouchard, but Cale Makar gets the cover of NHL 24, which is like I guess it's the same way with NBA 2K and with Madden, but I don't know, maybe it's just the younger generation. It's weird when you see all these younger guys who are also kind of gamers. Like, remember Patrick Laine? When it was a major issue when he was in Winnipeg and the video gaming. A lot of people say, half the team just sits in the room and games at night. So I guess that's different than when, let's say when I think Pavel Bure was on a cover. Was he not on a cover? He might have been on a cover. Or let's say Jaromir Jagr or things along those lines. Like, those guys weren't like, oh, now I can go play the game. This is just a modern generation and how everybody's asking, well, who do you think should be on the cover? Who do you think should be on the cover? It's kind of intertwined into the National Hockey League because that video game generation is in the league right now, right? Like
I was on the cusp, right? So in junior, that was when the first NHL 92 came out, like the best
93 was the GOAT.
There
was the regular NHL. I'll bring up a list. This is also something we can do here. I can bring up the list, but because I think the first one was just called NHL Hockey. That might have been
NHL 92 or whatever it was.
And then 93 was the one in which I had Jim Montgomery of the Montreal Canadiens, and he scored 108 goals in one season.
It was like, and I remember going, oh my gosh, how cool would it be if I ever got my name or I was actually in one of those games. So I eventually did, and this was funny because I went to my buddy's cabin, and he had one of the old, it was like 96, 97 when I was with the Oilers, and my stats were just horrible. like whatever Strutty says about my glove hand, the ratings reflected what Strutty talks about with my it was terrible. And we played it, and like the team was shooting from the other end, and I was pad stacking the wrong way, and it was going bar down, and I had to pull myself, Dusty. It wasn't, but I had a great picture on there, still in there, and that's kind of it's great to play.
So your headshot was in there?
Yeah. Cool. So everyone designed themselves, and now they can almost and take pictures of themselves and put them on there. But to actually have your own really shitty hockey player, that's something else.
I remember I used to create myself as like a Lindros clone.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't big then, but I was just like, man, I'd love to be a power forward like Eric Lindros. That would have been great. So yeah, this has got to be. So NHL hockey came out in 91.
Yeah.
And the cover athlete, it says, was Glenn Healy of the Los Angeles Kings.
Are you serious?
So that must have been like
After-
when they maybe didn't have the NHLPA logo and they just took the Kings goalie or something. I got to see this Glenn Healy
That's funny.
NHL cover because that's Richter.
They probably just got the
see
wrong
the-
name.
I
It was
don't
Van
see the Healy
Beesbrook.
Yeah, but then it was okay. So they had that one.
Oh, that was the
then
one.
they went NHLPA
Yeah,
Hockey 93 with
yeah.
Richter on it.
Yeah.
Richter, Brindamore, and Randy Moeller. So that's when it was just an action shot. Makes sense. NHL 94, Thomas Sandstrom and Andy Moog. And then they eventually locked in, I guess Van Beesbrook was the first one that kind of had a solo cover.
Yeah.
But that NHL 93 one was the game that kind of
It revolutionized
Turn things.
hockey. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it grew the game, I would say. That was laying out Gretz, and then the blood came out. And then they had to get rid of the blood.
I remember like the adjustments to the game as they come along. It's like every 2 or 3 years, and I think it's the same way because I was watching some EA guys, and they basically said that NHL 23 was a dud.
Oh,
Like they were not happy with what happened with NHL 23. So they're promising great things here with NHL 24. But I remember the first time. I don't even know if it would have been on a commercial yet, so it might have been like when you just got the game and you started playing it. But when you could hit somebody into the other team's bench,
it
was just like, oh my God.
You're trying to do that.
Can you believe we have this technology now? That was absolutely amazing.
Well, the biggest thing was actually the blood, but breaking the glass.
Oh.
And you'd get
With the shot?
McKinnon.
Yeah.
You'd get McKinnis and wind up and just blow it through the glass, which was great.
I remember my one buddy, I think it probably would have been 95, 96-ish. 95, I think. That's the one that had Kovalev and McLean on it.
Oh, yeah.
So it probably was NHL 95, maybe 96, but it was for PC.
Oh.
So he had it for his computer, but I don't know if it was just him or the technology to have the controller on the computer wasn't there. So he'd have to play
on his
with
keyboard.
the things, and he'd go, watch me play.
Yeah.
And he's like this, and part of me is like, well, we have the Super Nintendo now, so you can use a controller. Why are you using these? But then you could save the highlights from to the computer, and I thought that was game
next
changer.
level. Yeah.
That was amazing.
I still got some highlights saved in my Destiny days.
All the way back. All right, so Cale Makar gets this cover. Zegras and Sarah Nurse were on the last one. Matthews, Ovechkin, Matthews, McDavid, Tarasenko, all the way back to NHL 17. So Connor McDavid has been on the cover one time so far. You have to think he's coming down the road again. Hey, if Matthews has had 2 already,
it's kind of the old heart conversation. Who should be on the top? I mean, I don't have a problem with Makar on there.
No, it's good.
Like I think that
Nathan McKinnon hasn't had a cover yet, eh?
No, that's interesting. Cale Makar, it's tough. He means as much to his team as Connor McDavid does to the Edmonton Oilers. I think even more so than McKinnon, just the way
because of the position he plays. Is that why you would be like a little more so?
The position, how he can play both ends of the ice.
Yeah,
He's just, it's unbelievable what that guy can do. But it's a different position. Where he dominates compared to what Connor does.
Well, we will have our 2 guys in the goalie top 50 players here through the month of August and into September. Will Cale Makar be number 2 on that list? If not Cale Makar for the cover this year, who would you have picked if not Cale Makar? And let's say no Connor McDavid.
Gosh, I just think the Stanley Cup winning picture with who's the Conn Smythe winner? I'm losing his name here. Little French guy. Marchessault.
Yeah,
that
Marchessault.
picture where it looks like a heart with Marchessault looking up in the middle of it.
Yeah.
That's one of the best hockey photos I've ever seen.
So you would have thrown that on there.
I think I'd throw a Stanley Cup winning picture on there with the whole team like that. That
would be kind of cool.
I think that would be really neat. And there's guys that deserve it though. But I think just what the Knights were able to do in 6 years, and it was pretty cool. And just the picture alone, that itself on the cover of a video game, I think would resonate with a lot of people.
I think I saw a few of the guys say Jack Hughes And I think Jack Hughes would be a good cover.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to get it at some point, right?
Yeah,
Ridiculous skill level, younger guy. I mean, Marty Brodeur would have been a New Jersey Devil that would have had the cover, I would have thought. Yeah, Brodeur had it in NHL 14. I don't know if anybody else from New Jersey has had it. So
I just wonder if they're going to have the walk-off OT goal with Tkachuk in the game.
Straight into the
just see a guy go straight off.
And you kind of got to put all that stuff in there.
You have to.
I think
man.
you probably have to. Here's a question for you. I remember, so that year with NHL 93, maybe it was NHL 95. Like, NHL 95 was a really good game too, but I think it was 93. And I had sold my first 4-H calf, and one of the rules was I had to pay my dad back for the calf. I had to pay my sister a little bit for helping me, but I ended up coming out about $1,200 up. So I went and I bought like a 13-inch color TV for my room.
Perfect.
And the Super Nintendo. So I played season after season after season of that one game. And I don't know if I've played a full season since. You know, like you sit down, you're like, oh, I'm going to draft a team. It's going to be great. You play 4 or 5 games, then you get busy. You don't get back. I can't remember the last time I played a full. You game, but you don't sit down and play a full season of NHL, right? Because you do shoot 'em at games, right?
Yeah, no, I hardly play anything at all. But when I did, it was mostly sports games. I remember in Team Canada, my roommate Ryan Savoya, we played Madden. And so it was a weekly thing where, we'd skip a few weeks, but we'd play 2 teams that would play each other a few times, but we'd also play against the computer and then go through until the Super Bowl. So
that would be fun.
That was fun. And he always beat me, which sucked, but no, it was those were kind of cool. Yeah, it's tough to go through the whole season.
It's a lot of games. It's like, why would you ever select full season on a baseball game? Right? You're going to sit there and play 162 games, 9 innings?
Yeah.
No chance. You can knock it down to, I think, like an 18-game schedule. Maybe that's
what I did. I always knocked the 30
games,
games and not 20 minutes. Like, geez, your thumbs felt like they were going to fall off.
The last time I played a full season of anything, it probably would have been like FIFA during COVID, right? Because you're not doing anything anyway. You're at home. I'm pretty sure I banged out a couple full seasons of FIFA.
I played a full season of Football Manager that you managed the football team, and I was like in the 3rd division trying to get up to the Premier League.
Okay.
That was fun. But there was way too many things to handle. So I haven't bought the F1 Manager, like the principal one, because that's what the next purchase, I think, or that and Stargate or whatever. This new.
What's Stargate? It's not after the movie, is it?
No. I'm getting the StarCraft or something like that.
StarCraft, like from Warcraft.
No,
Warcraft moved to StarCraft.
It's more like Fallout or Skyrim.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's an open world in space, essentially. So that's
the whole universe.
Oh, just massive! Like building your own
planet.
Yeah, you can do that, and you can travel with you ship stuff across. You can be completely Han Solo and deal with all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to that.
We watched Force Awakens.
Oh,
number 7. I've told you guys on previous episodes we're watching the whole thing. It still blows my mind that Han Solo gets killed by his son. Spoiler alert. And my kids had already played. They played the whole video game, right? So they know everything. That's Marshall's quoting it. He's never seen the movie. He's quoting the movie from the video game. But my wife's a huge Han Solo, and she was devastated. She was just like, oh my God. But that's just such a dick move by Ben Solo, you know?
I don't like Ben Solo. I'm glad what happened to him. That was
Force Awakens, though, was actually a pretty good movie. Rewatching it, I was like, you know what? This is pretty good.
It's a fantastic movie. It really...
I thought it was really
It helped after that previous 3. Like that one, I don't think I knew anyone that had any problems with that. Like,
it got back on track pretty good.
That was a perfect movie.
No, that was nice. All right, Edmonton Oilers, obviously a little bit of a quiet time right now. We're going to have our 2 guys in the goalie top 50 players. That'll be coming up through August and into September. And over in the Oil Stream with Gazzola, we'll have Tommy's rankings of importance for the Oilers as well. A list that would probably have Bouchard somewhere up there. How long? I'm sure both sides, they know something's going to have to get done.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way the Oilers break camp without Bouchard. But at what point do you sit there and go, okay, like, maybe now start to worry? Like, why is this deal not done? It's only August, what is it, the 14th?
Yeah. He's got to get done before camp, though.
Yeah.
He's too important of a piece, I think, just because of that power play and what he was able to accomplish. But also, another guy could fit in there, and maybe it's a power play that you're not relied on tons, and you can add a little bit, but at that position, and if you got some skill, you could find yourself out of that, especially, I guess, in Bouchard's case anyways. Like if someone came in and he's not at camp and all of a sudden the power play hasn't changed at all and it's still operating at 30%, then you're like, well, maybe you don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I would just want like that chemistry just to start off again, right? It was such a potent part of their arsenal for last season.
It's so easy for us and other people in the media or bloggers or whoever to say, like, just take what they can pay you and light it up insane for 2 years. And then you're going to cash in, not this other money wouldn't be life-changing, but then you're cashing in like an all-time sort of $80, $70 million deal. It's so, like, to me, it's going to be a couple $100,000 here or there.
Yeah.
Get it done. Now, I know an agent and the player itself will be trying to say, well, we're worth this much. But with this team and this situation, I'd be like, how much you got left? Give that to me. Let's go. And in 2 years, I'm going to absolutely milk you just like Darnell Nurse did.
Yeah, and it's going to happen. That's the thing. Yeah. He would have to really suck for this not to reach 60 points.
Minimum 60 points.
Easily.
Minimum. That would, to me, honestly, if he just gets to 60, it's a disappointment.
Yeah, I would.
Which sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But he's going to get 45 points on the power play.
Yeah, because they only have one unit. So that's the other thing. You're going to be playing 2 minutes every single time. Yeah. Like you're probably not coming off unless you're hitting too many shin pads. But yeah, take the deal, cash it, and whether it's going to be here or somewhere else, you're going to be sitting pretty and being able to afford that place in Muskoka.
He's going to be able to afford whatever the hell he wants. What do you think the top end is? Like we said, the minimum is 60. If I told you Evan Bouchard gets 85 points this upcoming season, I mean, that doesn't sound too crazy.
I would say, Dusty, that anything kind of under 80 is a little bit of a disappointment.
Anything under 80?
Yeah.
So point per game guy.
Dude,
well, defensemen have been putting up huge numbers.
He's but his shot, like you saw when after he took over the power play, he was still kind of, making sure that he was distributing the puck to Connor and Leon. Right? Yeah. But then when it was almost like he got a little bit angry at times and just went right down the pipe and just blew it past a goalie. And not many guys can do that. I just think there's there's a little bit more that he can provide if he's in that position for the whole season. I think that's, I do look at with that power play, it's not going to change much. And with his shot, I think that anything under 80 points is a little bit of a disappointment.
What a year.
Yeah.
What a year could be waiting there for Bouchard. So, that should be a good one. All right, no cast today, so that is going to do it for this episode of Two Guys and a Goalie. We will be back on Thursday. If you are listening to the podcast, make sure you subscribe and give us a 5-star rating. We would very much appreciate that. Watch for Gager and I. We got to do our midsummer Pit Stop Pals episode this week, too, and get ready for that, which should be a lot of fun as well. We're here at the new Edmonton Sports Talk Studios. Make sure you're keeping track of all of our socials for some more announcements here as we work our way through the month of August. Exciting times, Gager, man.
Oh, this is great.
I think everybody's excited.
Congratulations. Yeah. This is awesome to see. And, I'm happy for you guys.
Once you roll in here in September, we should have the option to maybe play some Tecmo Bowl over there. If you want to grab a beverage, we're going to have the little beer fridge. It's just going to be a cool place to hang out.
It might be my office.
Yeah. I figure if my wife's like, you're at the office too much, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're going to have a couch here. It's going to be great. So, it should be a lot of fun. But that's going to do it for this episode of Two Guys and a Goalie. We will be back later in the week. And, Gager, we'll talk to you then, bud.
Awesome.